My dream had always been to go to Hawaii, to paradise, to have a handsome husband, and I managed to achieve all that. But after getting all that I wanted, my life became a real hell. My name is Cristiane Johnson.
My name is Christian Jensen. I'm from Hawaii.
I had suffered from depression since I was 5 years old. When I turned 17, I decided to go to Japan because I had a lot of debts. In Japan, I got involved with Spiritism. I worked in a factory where there were a lot of Brazilians. One of the male workers attended Spiritism church. He knocked on my door. I had been depressed for 2 weeks and couldn't work, so I let him in. And from then on, I got involved with Spiritism. After a year and a half, I decided to go to Hawaii.
Aí eu fui pro Havaí.
But the head of the Spiritism church told me that no, you cannot go. You have to indoctrinate yourself. Otherwise, your life won't go forward. Then he said, go, but you must come back. So I went to Hawaii. But when I got to Hawaii, I started manifesting with evil spirits. So I started looking for other religions. Anything you can imagine, I tried, including evangelical churches. But I couldn't find help anywhere. And that's when I met Cristiane.
I'm a surfer. I like to go to Hawaii to surf. I stayed with a friend that lived with a Hawaiian family. In that time, I would drink a lot. I would smoke marijuana every day. I didn't want this life, but I didn't know how to escape from it. So when I was in Hawaii, I would go to a church. I would feel better, but it was only emotion. And I didn't even know this intelligent faith. And she was looking happy. She appeared to be happy. She was surfing with me, and I liked her because she was different. She didn't tell me the whole story about the depression. Every baggage that she had, we put together. Apparently, everything was good. We were young, surfing together, happy.
Então a gente casou.
And we got married, and everything was fine, apparently. But when we moved in together, we started having disagreements. He was very indifferent. When Instagram and Facebook came, everything got worse because I wanted a husband I saw on Instagram. Everything I saw that others had, we got it also. But the feeling of emptiness only grew. I got everything I wanted, going to Hawaii, to paradise, getting a handsome husband, money, we went on a dream trips, we had children, and when I had everything I wanted, what happened? I packed my things, I couldn't stand my husband anymore. I went to the hotel and I heard a voice saying to me, jump out of the window because you have ruined your life.
A gente.
We were missionaries. We gave lectures and advised other couples, but we didn't live it ourselves.
And for me, it was very difficult because since a child, my family was the same. From my childhood to now, it was the same hell. The same hell.
So I came to Brazil, and my brother, who was an atheist, invited me to Solomon's temple. He said that they brought stones from Israel and he would like to visit. And I knew it was the Universal Church, and I hated the Universal Church. I said that I would go to any other churches, but I will not enter the Universal Church. But then I thought to myself, my brother is an atheist, and he invites you to go to church, and you refuse. So I agreed to go, but I said just for today. So we went to Solomon's temple, and as I was about to enter the second gate, which is sanctuary of the temple, I remember talking out loud. And I remember talking bad about someone. And the Levi said to me, shh, be in holiness to the Lord. I got very angry and told my brother, let's get out of here. But when we were about to leave, a pastor came to us and asked if we were leaving already, because the lecture didn't even start yet. I said that a woman told me to be quiet, so I want to leave. The pastor said that today Bishop Renato will give the lecture. And when he mentioned Bishop Renato, my brother took me by the hand and said, "Now you are going to the temple." And when the prayer began, a woman manifested with demons, the same way I had manifested for 17 years in Hawaii. I had searched in many places for help, but had not found any. So on Sunday, I went home feeling different.
Né? Diferente.
It gave us hope. If they could help, so we can try as well. So we decided to come to Brazil.
It was our last door before we end up getting divorced.
I hate living on the city. I grew up on the farm. I like a calm place. And here in the city, using applications to drive, fighting, all the family, we were like locked up inside of an apartment, completely out of our routine.
When we heard the pastor talking about the Israel campaign, we decided to fight for our marriage.
I was revolted. I want to call God's attention. I want to see His fire to come down on my life. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. So this was the first time that we decided to sacrifice. So we have some savings to return to our country. And it was the first campaign. So we didn't know anything. I thought the heavens would open and the problems would be all solved, but it was not really like that. But I could really see that the sacrificial life transforms lives. So we went back to US happy. We knew that we could change, that we could have a proper marriage blessed.
Abençoado.
While we didn't have a church, we watched the church programs on Univer and YouTube. And it helped, but it wasn't the same. So during 2 years, I called and asked to bring a church to us.
And after 2 years, the bishop came and started the work of God there. It was from zero. It was only me, my wife, the bishop, and his wife.
There, we learned the meaning of the altar.
And soon, another campaign started. And I was praying because I knew that the campaign of Israel is an experience. So I was praying, God, show me, what do you want from me? And so it was this, when God spoke to me. He said, you are giving too much effort to all your problems, but what about me? Will you give the same strength to the Holy Spirit? After this, I changed the focus. I already knew that I needed the Holy Spirit. God told me, do you know this money, $130,000 that you have? God was asking my life, my whole life on the altar. 100%, life for life, 100% for 100%, all my life on the altar. On that day, I went decided. I had made my decision. And it didn't take too long. In the same day, in the seeking of the Holy Spirit, I had that assurance. I heard the voice of the Lord telling me, I am with you. That's something that I was searching for my whole life. I had assurance that God was with me. His presence. I was in His hand now. This was the answer, that the fire came down on my life finally. I had a strength now that I always wanted. I was a loser. I was a banana. But now all that I wanted to be a man of God. I wanted to be a man of God all my life. And now this change happened inside of me.
I saw a change in him, and I was like, wow, I want what he has. So during Daniel's fast, I did something I hadn't done before. I made the sacrifice that God asked me to do, and on Sunday, when Bishop Macedo was praying, I received the Holy Spirit, and it has been and still is the greatest thing in my life.
Today we can say that we have a marriage that is blessed. We received here in Brazil in this travel the vision, a new vision for our business. We wanted to have our own brand of açaí, but God opened a great vision, much more than this. So our family is happy, our children.
Today, we are the source of living water. We have something to give. We see how the church grows, people are healed, and marriages are restored.
Today I'm an assistant at the Universal in Hawaii.
One of the reasons we came to Brazil is that we understood the meaning of the altar. We were together in the church and the pastor explained to us the meaning of the altar. And I remember that we looked at each other and told each other that we will get married at the altar because we got married at the beach. But now we wanted God's blessing in our lives. We came to Brazil and got married in Solomon's temple. And it was an honor for us to get married in a place where our marriage was saved. We always look at each other and say to each other that without the Universal Church, which is like a mother to us, we would not be married now. We are well aware of that.